Here's a quick tutorial on how you find a good pool that's printing money on Meteora. Let's dive in. So here we are at app.meteora.ag. Meteora is a goated app. And what we are in is a DLMM section, which is part of pools. Here we can see on the right-hand side, we've got a 24-hour fee divided by TVL. And if we have a look at these, we're going to see some pretty high fees. And this literally means that in the last 24 hours, if you entered the pool 24 hours ago, then you put in 10 Sol, you can expect to walk away with 20 Sol or 23 Sol. It's absolutely insane. Now, before you have a look at all these and just scan them all, what I like to do is just sort it by 24-hour volume as opposed to sorting it by 24-hour fee divided by TVL. Because what we'll see is it just doesn't really work necessarily very well. And some things are like high and low and whatnot. But this is still an option. So if we have a look at 24-hour volume, we're going to see this first pool here, Enron. Now, how do we check and make sure that this is still having very decent volume? Because this volume is over the last 24 hours. It doesn't tell us what the last 2 hours worth of volume was. And things could have changed. So we'll jump into this pool and we'll click Show All. We can see there's a decent number of liquidity pools, but some have zero TVL, meaning people put it in, they created the pool, and then they pulled it out. And on this occasion, you've got these three pools that have such a minimal amount. Even this pool here has quite a small amount, probably too small for what I would like. So really the only pool that's decent is this one right here, and it's printing 36%. So if we click into it, we're still not going to be able to see what it's been printing the last 2 hours. We need other metrics for that. We can see that it had 12 million locked and it's made 4.5 million in fees. So that is 100% very, very decent. But we need a little bit more information. Down here, we've got all these different links. They go to Bird Eye, Gecko, DexGrunner, GMGN, Dex Tools, and a few other places where you can just go and buy the token. But we're more interested in DLMMing it. I like to check at a different source as well. This is hawkfire.ag. It still pulls all the same data. It just gives us it a little bit more cleaner. So we've got Enron in USDC and Enron in Sol, and it's giving us these big juicy rates. If we click into it here, we can just go and copy right here the actual token address, the contract address. And I like to use gmgn.ai, but I'll show you two others as well. Come up to the top search bar, paste it, and then just click on it. This is Enron, and its chart is basically down. I'm looking at it on the 1 minute chart because when you're getting into a meme coin, you're probably wanting to print fees, in my opinion, not get too greedy, and then get out. So here, it doesn't really matter. We can't even see the actual volume down here. The volume's tiny. Volume on launch, and then nothing here. We can zoom into a few other indicators. We can see the RSI went incredibly low down to 2, and now it's up at like 57. But basically, I don't really care about this right now. I'm trying to work out, is there volume? You make fees by volume. And if we come down here, we look at the 1 minute chart, there's zero volume. If we look at the 5 minute chart, there's $259. The 1 hour chart, $14,000. The 24 hour, 90 million, but all that basically happened here. And this is what I would call a dead pool. The token has lost its relevancy very quickly. It could come back again, but it's not worth DLMMing right now. You will not generate fees. There is nobody to buy your token, and there's nobody to sell you the token. We can check the same information on Dex Screener, and 1 hour shows 12K, 5 minute, here you are, 6 hour. 6 hours not too bad, but then it dropped off too much. I would like to see 6 hour, maybe around 700,000 or more, maybe even 1 million. And of course, you can also check this on ape.pro, and this gives you some good indicators as well. We've got all the same information, 5 minute here, 1 hour. You can see there's so much sell volume and massive sell volume. And once again, we have to ignore the 24 hours. This, and this basically shows me that there's no interest in buying the token, and you won't make fees how you want to in a DLMM model unless people are buying the token. Now, this is a good example to check because this is not a pool worth jumping into under any circumstances, in my opinion. Now, before I show you a pool which is worthwhile, my name is Sebastian Montgomery, Seb Monty for short. I'm the general manager of Validate.com. When you make decent profits, make sure you learn and upskill. Get a ledger, take some SOL, stake it directly with Validate.com. You're earning over 11% right now APY due to just the crazy amount of traffic on Solana. You can then still go and grow your DLMM bags, but it's always good to have something set over here in case you've got a couple of bad days or a week of bad DLMMing. Also, if you're new to this, I've got other videos on Meteora, and there'll be a whole lot of videos, probably over 100 that I'm going to create in the next month or so. Very, very bullish on Meteora. It is absolutely an actual money printer if you know what you're doing. So check this out and kind of obsess over it if you want to get better. Make sure you do the Meteora Bootcamp, which is the LP Army Bootcamp. This is normally monthly. And also on Twitter, make sure you're following as many geese out there that you can. GooseDAO, they are a high-performing community of DLMM specialists. Some of them make $30,000 a month. Some of them make $200,000 a trade. So if you follow this account here, absolutely legitimate, and follow anybody that has one of these little wee geese. Rizup as an example, Geeklad, Mario, there's plenty of them out there. Chef is a really good one. And there's a couple of other people that have different PFPs, but if they're part of GooseDAO, follow them and learn as much as you can. All right, let's move back to working out what is a good token. So let's go to Hawkfi, and we'll go back and we'll have a look and see if there's anything else here that catches our attention. Looking at 24-hour fees, we're not gonna click on this because it's going to give us all these low TVL pools, and it doesn't matter if something's making 552,000% if there's $1.89 in there. That just doesn't make sense. So we're coming back here, we're ignoring this one. I'm going to ignore something that's printing less than, for something that's like really kind of explosive, I'm going to be wanting 20%, maybe even 40% in 24 hours. I know that's greedy, but there's impermanent loss. The token can go down. There's a risk and reward to this, right? So skip Melania, skip Trump. We could have a look at SSE, Calicoin, and Omega X. These could be worthwhile things. So let's check them all out to see what's actually going on. Of course, we could come back here to the DLMM section and look at these things as well. We can see Calicoin here, SSE down here, and Omega X is all the way down here. So you can still see all the same data, but Hawkfi sometimes gives it to you a little bit easier. So the other thing to keep in mind is something like SSE could be quite pumped up. And if we went directly to GMGN, and if we just search for SSE, we may see a whole lot of different tokens. On this occasion, there's only 3, but sometimes we can see 10 or more as scammers try and create more tokens. So then we have a look at something that has the most amount of volume. But even scammers can go and create liquidity pools where they just buy and sell with bots and pump up the volume, trying to attract your liquidity. So what I prefer to do is just skip all this and just go direct to the source. We can see this is generating decent fees. We click into it, we go ahead and we copy Solana Social Explorer. Then we come in and we paste it, we find it, and we have a look at it. Now it's a good idea to have a look at socials at this point as well, because there's, many things that we need to consider. And there's a few other things that I want to talk about, but I'll talk about these in another video. Here, all we're really looking at is the token. Is it actually going up? Is it generating fees? We can see 5-minute volume is 1.8 million, 1.9 million. So this is 100% worthwhile. Not saying enter at this point because it's at all-time highs, but I'm saying to have a look at this, using a little bit of TA, watching the other videos that I'm putting out, and this would print fees. This would print very decent fees. You're going to be able to see the same information here at Deck Screener. If you want to, SSE, this splits it up into different liquidity pools. So I'm more kind of looking at something like Meteora, but in general, like massive volume in 6 hours, massive volume 1 hour, massive volume in 5 minutes. This is an absolute printer. Same thing can apply to ape.pro. Now I actually really want to get in and DLMM that. So let's wrap up this tutorial with a couple more things. We've had a look at SSE. Let's go back. We'll have a look at Omega X. and Calicoin. So MegaX down here, go and copy this. We'll just go to GMGN because you know how to use the other platforms if they are your preferred platforms. OmegaX, we found the right one. This is in a range. We do ideally want something that's in a range that is not downtrending. So this could be okay for short bursts. 5 minute is 21,000, 1 hour is 300,000. It's a little bit too low. I would probably like that to be like 1 million or 700,000, but you will still be able to print some fees off this as long as it remains in a range. So this would be an okay choice. Let's go back and let's check the final one, Calicoin. Jump in here, select this, and back to gmgn.ai. Calicoin. Now 5 minutes, pretty decent. 1 hour, 700K. 1 minute's doing well. We can see there's net buys, which is always good to see, and it is in a range. So this would also be worthwhile. But of all the things that I actually had a look at, SSE would be my preferred favorite. So that's all for that video. You're going to have to use this video with a whole lot more other information from other videos, and I'm working on them now. Make sure you're subscribed because you don't want to miss all the content I'm creating. And check out these two links here. The top one is a massive Meteora overview video, and the next one, the bottom one, this is one that just goes over another tip. There'll be plenty more out, so make sure you catch those.